Hi, everybody. Welcome to VallRell Events Spill the Ink. I'm your host this week, Kristen, and with me today I have BC FaJohn, who is the author of A Crown of Ash and Silver. And BC, I'm so excited that you're with us this week.
I'm excited too. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk about some of my books, most recently The A Crown of Ash and Silver. I'm just super excited to be here. So
A Crown of Ash and Silver. Can you give us a little synopsis?
yeah, so A Crown of Ash and Silver is about a novice witch who is traded to the Fae in exchange for peace between the two realms. While she's trapped in the Fae realm, she's assigned a bodyguard who is going to protect and watch her while she awaits her fate. They both share a lot of secrets, but this bodyguard might have a few of his own up his sleeve that are pretty lethal.
We love the bodyguard trope
Yeah.
because we all know things are going to happen.
Right? Love a good
Right?
body.
We love a good bodyguard.
Mhm.
And Eero is a fantastic bodyguard. He could guard my body anytime he wants to.
Right? Yes.
So give us a little synopsis about our two main characters.
Yes. So they are both flawed in the most interesting ways, in my opinion, but I might be a little biased because I'm the author, but we're going to move past that part. So Areli is a very sassy, fiery female main character. Areli is a orphan who never really knew her parents. She was raised by a group of sorceresses who really exposed her to what magic was, but they didn't give her any insight into why it existed. She just knew it was there, right? Probably a little bit more than the average person. As a result of that, she's very guarded. She's hard to trust. Like she doesn't trust people very easily. So like I said, very fiery, snarky. It's going to take a while for you to really understand, maybe her back and forth, but there's a reason for everything. And then we have Eero. Eero is our bodyguard in question. Love him. He's white haired, fae, touch her and you die, whole nine yards. But beyond the tropes, he's a very, very interesting character with a very deep past. He is probably very trusting, especially considering everything he's gone through. But Eero is loyal, he's passionate, and his morals for a Fae are pretty good. He's probably not the most evil person you're going to meet while in the Fae realm.
What a what a claim to fame. Like, you're not the worst Fae
The worst one.
that I'm
No,
gonna meet.
pretty good for Fae standards.
And well, when I was reading it, I thought it was really interesting that Areli doesn't seem to know that she's got sparkle fingers.
She doesn't. No,
Right?
she learns very early on, so it's not really a spoiler. But she does learn very early on that she has magic, and she doesn't really know where that comes from. She doesn't know her bloodline, so it's very hard to pinpoint, where she's getting this extra flair to what she can do. But she does have magic in her blood, and she's pretty accepting of it, I would say, from the beginning. But she just doesn't know what to do with it. She doesn't know how to use it.
So as an author, I know that a lot of times people say maybe this, book was really difficult to write, or it took me a really long time to figure out this one part. Did you have any issues like that when you were writing this?
No, not really. This book came pretty easy to me pretty fast. I wrote 90,000 words of it in 30 days. Like it was just coming out of me. It definitely has a special place in my heart. I really love the characters, even though they're super flawed in their own way. There was nothing that was really that hard for me to nail down. I actually struggled with the ending a little bit. I didn't know if I wanted to make this one of my super long books, because if you read any of my other books, they're very long, they're epics. But I didn't want this book to be epic fantasy length. I wanted it to be digestible. And so I think that's probably the only part in the book where I questioned it. I knew where I needed it to end, but I didn't know if I wanted to lead into book two more, or if I just wanted to end this loop and then start off on book two. So
Does that mean you are a plotter? Are you a pantser or a plot?
I'm a pantser by nature that forces myself to at least have a vague outline, just so I keep myself on track. My ADHD brain likes to go off on tangents. So
ADHD brain. Yes, I feel you there. Yeah. So,
yeah.
okay, you're a little bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Plancer.
A
Yeah.
plancer. There you go. Yeah. And as a plancer, do you
Mhm.
have any writing rituals that you use to get you into the mood to write?
That's a good question. I am actually a huge proponent on like building healthy writing habits because I think as an author, it's really easy to get stuck in the, cycles of comparing yourself to people who write books really fast or people who have really popular books. So I am a huge, huge proponent again of building those healthy writing habits. So my ritual is I usually get online with some of my writing friends. I very strongly recommend having writing friends. And we sprint together, right? Even if we're not talking, we'll just kind of sit on a call together while we write. We can ask each other questions about our writing process or if we have questions about it. And that's pretty much what I do every day, which leads into my next point is try to write every day, even if it's 10 words or 10,000 words, just write, right? Whether it's a super long day or you can't write for more than 5 minutes. So,
Okay, and that's a great writing tip.
mhm,
Make sure that
yeah.
you're putting a little something down on
Mhm.
the proverbial paper to make
And
sure
don't
that,
edit.
yes, and
Don't
don't
edit while
edit
you
it.
write.
Just write it. Exactly.
Yep.
So, do you have are there specific friends that you ask to help you with editing? Do you hire a copyright editor? Do you hire a proofreader?
Yes. So I usually am always going to hire like a formal editor when I have everything on paper. Like I've had one or two people beta read it. I will hire an editor. But I do have like informal beta periods with some of my author friends, and we'll go through our manuscript in its rougher state and figure out, where there might be holes or whatnot.
Okay. I,
Hmm.
I love that. I love the concept of like, you have your writing group and you get everything kind of like ironed out and fleshed out that way.
Yeah.
And then pay
Hmm.
professionals to come in and like do their magic to it.
Yeah.
I loved the cover. The cover
I love
art on this book
it.
is spectacular.
Yes.
Do you have a specific artist that you like to use?
Yes. So her name is Zoe Holland. I hold her very close to my heart. She's actually reading the book right now and she's been sending her live reactions. So I think it's interesting to see the person who brought my characters to life get to see their personalities on page. But Zoe Holland is a fantastic artist. She has some artwork up of Fourth Wing, Akatar. If you go look at her Instagram, she has some artwork up of Asriel with Nyx, and it's so freaking cute. It's probably one of my favorite Asriel artworks that I've seen. So,
Oh, I'll definitely have to check. I mean, I love fan art, but like I also love like beautifully commissioned
yeah,
pieces of art. And especially like when artists are like, I love this so much, I'm gonna like doodle it.
yes, yeah.
Fantastic. Is there maybe some art coming more from your
Yes. So she's definitely my like official artist for this book. She's the person who I think can represent the characters the best. So I'm going to slowly start commissioning some artists or slowly start commissioning some portraits of some of the other characters. So super exciting. Super, super excited to see what she does with that.
I'm excited to see it also as well.
Mhm.
So, as a self-published author, is there anything that you wish you had known before you decided to go into self-publishing?
Oh, yes. I am a huge proponent on not editing while you're writing. And I know that's not necessarily part of the self publishing journey, but it definitely impacts it because if you get stuck, if you're trying to rapid release and you get stuck just constantly editing while you're writing, you're not going to get the book done. And that's how people write faster. They get the word vomit on the page, whether it's outlined or not, and then they edit it after. Some people do 2 or 3 drafts, but then they fix those drafts before they send it to an editor, right? So that's my pre-publish advice. My publishing advice, right, is pick your editors carefully. I have gone through 3 or 4 editors, and I'm not no edit. I don't think one editor is bad. It's kind of like dating. You have to find the person that meshes with what you're writing, and is able to kind of contrast what you have flaws with when you're writing. Everybody does. So just pick your editors carefully, find one that vibes with you. And two, don't pay, I haven't done this, but don't pay a publisher to publish your books. A lot of people do. And there are hybrid publishers that are legitimate that do require some cost, right? But most of the time, it's not legitimate. So don't pay a publisher, especially if they're approaching you first, even if it's just for marketing.
So we're gonna go back to that number 2. You and I are gonna go into this together.
Okay.
Make dating app for publishing.
Yes.
What can we call it? Instead of Tinder, it could be
Bender.
Bender, like a writing Tinder.
I was thinking like book Tinder.
Book Tinder.
Yeah.
Oh, but we could do it like B hyphen Tinder.
Yes.
Okay. Although Bender, like going on a writing bender.
I know. I love it. That's such a good idea. No.
But we're gonna make so much money off of this.
We are.
Bender. I love this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when inspiration's gonna strike.
Right?
Yes. Okay. So I know that you have 4 other books out.
Mm-hmm.
3 are a series, and then there's 1 standalone.
No standalones. So I have a epic fantasy series called the Ruined series. This is going to be like your dragons, your magic, war. There is a lot of world building, right? So if readers are coming to my books from A Crown of Ash and Silver, and then they go to the Ruined series to read, they're going to notice polar opposites. The slow burn, 800 pages. Like it's a lot. Right. It's definitely still has romance in it because I am a romance author, fantasy romance author, but it is more than the romance. Whereas A Crown of Ash and Silver, which is my trilogy, the newest trilogy, this is more of a romantasy. It is romance forward. The world building is a lot easier to digest. And the slow burn, instead of 700 pages, it's I think 200 before they start liking each other, and 300 before they hold hands. No, I'm kidding. They do more, but right.
Hold hands.
Hold hands.
Safe for social media.
Yes.
They have adult coloring time.
Yes.
We love Friends for adult coloring time.
Yes. It's
Especially when they're named Eero. The eyes. I don't want to talk about it too much. So I want people to like go read it and be like, oh, but
yes.
The eyes are
the eyes. Eyes are always important to me. Eyes are always important to me in writing. I think they're kind of like a window to the soul, and there's definitely a reason for his eyes, which he kind of touched on a little bit in the book. But
do we find out more about it later?
We do, yes. You're gonna find out a lot more about his past leading up to his big reveal, which I'm not going to go into here because it is kind of a spoiler, but you definitely learn a lot about his history. So,
and does that mean, is that in the next book, which I assume
yes.
Now?
Yes, it is in the next book, and I actually just announced the title today and the tentative release. I'm working on it right now, super excited. But book 2 is going to be called A Throne of Fire and Gold, kind of contrasting A Crown of Ash and Silver. It is still following Aurelie and Eero. It's following their journey, their relationship, and what it's grown into, as well as a lot more of the fantasy elements. Now that you know who they are, I feel like I can really just throw you into the world and show you everything else. So
that's great. That's wonderful. And what is the tentative release date?
November 28th is what I'm aiming for.
Okay. And so if you have read A Crown of Ash and Silver, if you're interested in reading A Crown of Ash and Silver, it's available on Amazon. It's available on KU. It's also available from Barnes & Noble with a specialty hardback edition that has an extra scene in it.
Yes.
I have to go get me one of those. And I'm assuming the next book will also be available in all 3 formats as well, right?
Yes. I'm gonna do the same concept. The hardcover will have a bonus scene or something along those lines. It'll be printed in color, just like this book one is. But yes, they'll always be in KU at least to start. So
Well, Bree, thank you so much for hanging out with us on VallRell Events Spill the Ink. For all of our viewers, all of Bree's information is going to be down below in the description. And if you would like to subscribe to our channel, we have a new episode that comes out every Wednesday for Spill the Ink. As always, ink slingers, keep on writing.
thank you.